Hello, my name is Athat Pian Shinthao Palu. I'm from the country of Myanmar. I would like to share with you my testimony of what happened to me, but first I would like to give you some brief background information from my life growing up. I was born in 1958 in the town of Bogala, on the Irrawaddy Delta of southern Myanmar, formerly Burma. At the age of 13, I left school and started working on a fishing boat. At the age of 16, I became the leader of the boat. At this time, I lived in the upper main Meghalaya island, just north of Bogala, where I was born. One day when I was 17, we caught a large number of fish in our nets. Because of the many fish, a large crocodile was attracted to us. It followed our boat and tried to attack us. We were terrified, so we frantically rowed our boats toward the riverbank as fast as we could. The crocodile followed us and smashed our boat with its tail. Although no one died in this incident, the attack greatly affected my life. I no longer wanted to fish. Our small boat sank because of the crocodile attack. At the age of 18, I was sent to a Buddhist monastery to be a novice monk. When I turned 19 years and 3 months old, in 1977, I became a normal monk. The senior monk at my monastery gave me a new Buddhist name, which is the custom in our country. I was now called U Nata Panita Ashintoria. The name of the monastery I lived at is called Mandalay Kyakasan Keyeng. The senior monk's name was called Uzadila Kiar Nikansayada. He was the most famous Buddhist monk in all of Myanmar at the time. Everyone knew who he was. He was widely honored by the people and respected as a great teacher. I say he was because in 1983 he suddenly died when he was involved in a fatal car accident. His death shocked everyone. At the time, I had been a monk for 6 years. I tried hard to be the best monk I could and to follow all the precepts of Buddhism. At one stage, I moved to a cemetery where I lived and meditated continually. Some monks who really want to know the truths of Buddha do things like I did. Some move deep into the forest where they live a life of self-denial and poverty. I sought to deny my selfish thoughts and desires, to escape from sickness and suffering, and to break free from the cycle of this world. For years, I strived to be the best monk I could, and not to harm any living being. I studied the holy Buddhist teachings just like all my forefathers had done before me. My life proceeded as a monk, until I got very, very sick. I was in Mandalay at the time, and had to be taken to the hospital for treatment. The doctors did some tests on me and told me that I had both yellow fever and malaria at the same time. After about 1 month in the hospital, I was getting worse. The doctors told me there was no chance for me to recover and discharged me to make arrangements to die. After I was discharged from the hospital, I went back to the monastery where the other monks cared for me. I grew weaker and weaker and was lapsing into unconsciousness. I learned later that I actually died for 3 days. My body decayed and stunk of death. My heart stopped beating. My body was prepared for cremation and was put through traditional Buddhist purification rites. Although I faded away in my body, I remember my mind and spirit were fully alert. I was in a very, very powerful storm. A tremendous wind flattened the whole landscape until there were no trees or anything else standing, just a flat plain. I walked very fast along this plain for some time. There were no people anywhere. I was all alone. After some time, I crossed a river. On the other side of the river, I saw a terrible, terrible lake of fire. In Buddhism, we do not have a concept of a place like this. At first, I was confused and I didn't know it was hell until I saw a demon. His face looked like the face of a lion. His body was like a lion, but his legs were like a serpent spirit. He had a number of horns on his head. His face was very fierce and I was extremely afraid. Trembling, I asked his name. He replied, "I am the King of Hell, the Destroyer." The King of Hell told me to look into the lake of fire. I looked and I saw the saffron-colored robes that Buddhist monks wear in Myanmar. I looked closer and saw the shaven head of a man. When I looked at the man's face, I saw it was Uzadila Kian Nikansayada, the famous monk who had died in the car accident in 1983. I asked the king of hell why my former leader was confined to this lake of torment. I said, why is he in this lake of fire? He was a very good teacher. He even had a teaching tape called Are You a Man or a Dog?, which had helped thousands of people understand that their worth as humans is far greater than the animals. The king of hell replied, yes, he was a good teacher, but he did not believe in Jesus Christ. That's why he is in hell. I was told to look at another person who was in the fire. I saw a man with very long hair wrapped on the left-hand side of his head. He was also wearing a robe. I asked the king of hell, who is this man? He replied, this is the one you worship, Gautama, Buddha. I was very disturbed to see Gautama in hell. I protested, Gautama had good ethics and good moral character. Why is he suffering in this lake of fire? The king of hell answered me, it doesn't matter how good he was. He is in this place because he did not believe in the eternal God. I then saw another man who looked like he was wearing a soldier's uniform. He had a large wound on his chest. I asked, who is this man? The king of hell said, this is Aung San, the revolutionary leader of Myanmar. I was told, Aung San is here because he persecuted and killed Christians, but mostly because he didn't believe in Jesus Christ. I looked and saw another man in the lake of fire. He was a very tall man and was dressed in military armor. He was also holding a sword and a shield. This man had a wound on his forehead. This man was taller than any person I have ever seen. The king of hell said, this man's name is Goliath. He is in hell because he blasphemed the eternal God and his servant David. I was confused because I didn't know who either David or Goliath were. The king of hell said, Goliath is recorded in the Christian Bible. You don't know him now, but when you become a Christian, you will know who he is. Another demon came to me. I also saw a being whose job is to stoke the fires beneath the lake of fire to keep it hot. This being asked me, are you going into the lake of fire too? I replied, no, I am only here to observe. The appearance of this creature stoking the fire was very terrifying. He had 10 horns on his head and a spear in his hand that had 7 sharp blades coming from the end. The creature told me, you were right. You came here just to observe. I cannot find your name here. He said, you must now go back the way you came. I was hot and in great pain. Finally,